Leave it to Michiru to solo half of the Phantom Fighters and make the writers come up with a plot device that basically they needed to make in order to write him out of the show because the dude is way too overpowered. Good work, Michiru. Hello everyone and welcome to Dueling with Downton, and today we're talking all things episode 6 of the Cardfight Vanguard Divinez Parallactic Clash. And what an insane episode this was. Honestly, my favourite episode of the season so far. So, I'm not a massive fan of Raika, but I do like Youthberg as an archetype. And this new unit, Youthberg Drag Force Arms, Phantom, this was amazing, both in terms of design, and his skill was fun too. Genuinely, it's been a long time since I've watched an anime episode and been like, oh, I need to buy that card when it comes out. And honestly, I'm going to be doing so. Now back to Raika. I really like this mini Phantom backstory and how both Rikas had the same goal of beating and being seen by Michiru. But for Mr. Cosplay here, his reasoning was due to basically seeing how the Verity Raika managed to achieve his goals of going pro, where he himself failed. With Michiru being at the centre of the Verity Raika's journey, this of course led the Phantom Raika to be like, right, I want to beat this guy who my other self couldn't beat and saw as a pinnacle of strength, because only then will I be able to be considered the best in the world, and if I beat the best pro of the world. From Mr. Phantom here, we saw a lot of anger, hatred, sadness, swagger, confidence, hope, passion, drive, and his love for card fighting. He only lost his way because he never had anyone supporting him or guiding him or being this goal for him to chase. Of course, losing over and over again sucks. It's not fun for anyone. But of course, you need to have that drive and will to stand back up and keep striving towards a future that you want to grasp. But after forming Team Twilight, you could see that his confidence was growing back again, but that desire to become a pro was still very much out of reach, which is why he kept having this feeling of emptiness even after taking so many flags. Going back to Drag Force Arms, this effect to gain attack from the amount of dragons in your drop zone. It took me back to the days of King of Knights Alfred. If you know, you know. But also, it kind of reflects the fact that this Raika only wants support and found that support when he formed himself a team, just like how his Ace Monster gained support from those in the drop zone, being dragons. But anyway, moving on and continuing with references that make me sound old, did anyone else see Michiru's Mythics card and think, why is Flash Leopard from V-Force here? No, just me. Okay. Now then, Michiru. This guy again put in work. Why the match between him and Danji was off screen, I don't know. That's clearly a matchup we all wanted to see. But throughout this episode, you could see the desire to fight, the pride in facing strong opponents, and the respect that he had for Raika. Even before the match started, you could see his excitement and his respect and the spirit of rivalry. Michiru took this fight seriously from the moment he stepped into Wonder Hill, and smiled all the way through. Now you may be thinking, oh, him smiling was his way of not being serious, but we know that Michiru loves Vanguard. So when he's smiling, that's when he's at his peak. And this is evident from his expressions, as well as from the careful planning and strategy that he took while facing Raika here. Not allowing the grade 2 unit to hit in that final turn that Raika had, allowing Raika to draw a card. This card that he would have drawn if that attack had went through was revealed later on to have been a perfect guard on the 5th damage, which would have helped Raika so much in that final attack. So yeah, we got to see a lot of passion, emotion, expressions, and good card fighting from this card fighting god here. Now, aren't the Mythics cards meant to be rare? So how did Michiru obtain 2 of them? That's what I want to know. Now, another really interesting thing that was said in this episode was after Michiru went into a coma, the smartphone stated that the Parallactic and the Verity are clashing in his mind, but neither can sustain dominance. So, could this mean that we could actually see a Phantom Michiru in a future episode? Because knowing this guy, he would allow himself to become a Phantom Fighter just so he can have more fun card fighting against his friends, aka our heroes. I don't know, I think after seeing how Raika changed and got really strong, I feel like if he had the opportunity to, I feel like he would. Now finally, we do have some Kurumi time, and she's shooting her shot with Akina, asking him to stay with her here in this world. And he just says, no, he doesn't want to. But he will somehow save her, confirming the type of world that Akina wants to reach out for. This is a world in where he is back in the Verity, but Kurumi is there with him. At this point, you are thinking, well, that's just wishful thinking. But we do still have that whole wish thing that you can recreate the world into how you want it. But come on, we know that at the end of the day, it's going to be a merging of the two. We're going to have a world created where the Verity and the Phantom merge into one so that people can decide what type of life they want. If that's possible, we'll have to wait and see. With that being said though, I do want to get to Kurumi and just see her basically just losing it. Seeing how close characters like Now and Akina are together and just going completely psycho on every girl that gets close to her man and just be like, hey, Akina, you like this girl here? Let me card fight her and I'll turn her into someone that you don't recognize. The music was insane throughout this episode. I love the sound effects, especially that lightning crackle. But whenever Playing the Rock starts playing during a fight, that just gets me hyped. Mix in the red lightning visuals and I was geeking out. But yes, all around, this was a very, very good episode. But it does mean we are 2 Mythics users down. So who's the next one to fall? Honestly, if I'm gonna give a quick guess, I'm gonna actually say Kagetsu. I think Kagetsu is the next one to lose. Anyway, with that being said, I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you have, hit that like button, comment your thoughts down below on this episode and the things that I mentioned. But other than that, have a great day. Alligator, matane, goodbye.